Now, if somebody is in Africa and wants to follow this procedure, what exactly do they need to do? So how do they go about it? Because that's what we are trying to avoid here, to make sure that people don't take advantage of people back home.
Okay. I discussed about the two pathways. There are two options you being African can follow. The first option is that you need to have a professional degree or an academic qualification that is recognized here in Germany. If your degree is recognized in Germany, then you are automatically qualified. So people are asking that, okay, how can I get this recognition? Like I said, we'll drop the link on how you can apply for the recognition. There are diverse views about it depending on your embassy. Some could allow you to just go to a database where there's a list of schools and a list of courses. And if your school is graded with H plus, then your school is recognized. And if your course is there, then it means you are recognized. But this alone might not be enough for your embassy, the local embassy in your country, to say you are qualified for it. You might need to go through the other process, which is applying for the recognition itself, which takes longer time, I think a period of 3 to 4 months before you get your results if your course is actually recognized fully and you've gone through the process and the German government have said this your qualification is fully recognized by us, then you're automatically qualified to apply for this card. Then there's the second aspect of it, which is if your qualification is not recognized by Germany, not fully recognized by Germany. Now, in this case, what you need to do is that the qualification you have, one, must be recognized in your country. And then two, you need to have at least a A1 German or at least a B2 English language proficiency. That's the second requirement for the second option. And then this second option also provides you a points-based system. And the point-based system, if you are aware of how the Canadian point-based system is, it's something close to that. But if you can get up to 6 points in this point-based system, then you're automatically qualified for the second option. How do we classify the point-based system? One is your qualification itself. So when we say for your qualification, if the qualification is only partially recognized in Germany, you would have 4 points in this case. But if the qualification is not recognized at all in Germany, but only recognized in your country, then you have 0 points. You do not have any points in this part. But the qualification or the vocational training should be at least 2 years, if at all. Then the second criteria, which is the German language, is that if you have a German language of B2 and above, you get 3 points. But if you have a German language for B1, you get 2 points. And if you have a German language for A2, you get 1 point. But if you have a German language for A1, you get 0 points. And if you have English language C1, you get 1 point. Then there's also for the age. The age, if you are within the age of 35, under the age of 35, you get 2 points. If you're above the age of 35 and between 40, so 35 to 40, you get 1 point. One other criteria, if you've stayed in Germany within the last 5 years for at least 6 months, you get 1 point. But the stay I mean here is eventually maybe coming for education, coming for work, maybe a short work period, but not visiting or tourism. Visits or tourist stay is excluded. So anything aside visit or tourist stay, like you come for research, you get 1 point. Then the final one is if you are coming with your spouse, if you have a spouse, and the spouse also has this other can make 6 points in this category, or has their degree recognized, you also have 1 additional point.
In this German system, working experience doesn't count.
Yes, working experience also counts. So if you have an experience in the profession you are claiming, that's the profession where you get the vocational training or the degree which is not recognized or partially recognized, if you have at least 5 years experience within the last 7 years, you would have 3 points also in that point-based system. But if you have 2 years experience within the last 5 years, you would have 2 points in that part. But that experience must be related to the profession, to the vocational training. So make sure it is related. So if you have an experience, for example, your vocational training was in food and nutrition, and then you have an experience in information technology, then you don't get that point because it's
Which is
not from the
normal.
same. Yes,
It makes
exactly.
sense.
And then, in addition to this, Germany also has what we call the bottleneck professions. These are professions that are in demand in Germany. You understand? So there are professions that we have lots of shortage of staffs and we need to fill them. I would add the website to the list of this profession, but I want to give you an idea. It's one is the information IT technology space. So many of these IT professions, they are also there, but there's specific ones that are in the list. 2 is health-related professions, doctor, nurses. These are professions that are really of a low shortage, and there's a lot of demand for it here. Then 3 is educational professions. Like if you are a teacher, then you also have an additional 1 point in this point-based system. Yeah. So for this second pathway, you must get at least 6 points to be able to be qualified for this program. But for the first pathway, which is the first option I told you, if your degree is recognized by Germany, you do not need any extra thing to do. So it means that you do not need language, you do not need to show your experience, you do not need to show your age, or if you have stayed in Germany for 1 year. So this is the 2 different pathways.
I see. Okay, so when I came to Germany, the job center, before I went to do the master's program, the job center had sent me to do the equivalence, I think.
Yes.
My question is, if someone is in Africa, for example, how do they get to do this procedure? Because you need to, I think you need to send your certified documents. You need to
Exactly.
apply online and then print out the forms.
You're already saying the answer because that's basically the answer. So the truth is, for you to get that done, the application is online. You understand? So anybody telling you bring your money, we can do it in Africa for you, we can do all that. No, it's not. For you to get that your degree recognized, it's online. So there's a website which I said we should drop. I don't know if we can drop it now or we drop it after. There's a website we can drop, and then in the website you get all the procedure on how you send your application to them.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. So you send all your application to them, and then they give you your results. Basically, it takes a long period of time, 2-3 months. Some people have said 4 months, and then they give you a result if your degree is actually fully recognized or partially recognized. So if it is fully recognized, then it means you just go into the option 1 and you're automatically qualified. But if your result comes out and it says it is partially recognized, then you have to go to the option 2 and start counting your points. Like we said, partially recognized gives you 4 points. So you start counting your points to see if you can get 6 points, and then you can qualify. But if they tell you it is not recognized at all, then you get no points. But in addition to that, it also has to be recognized in your country. So if it is not recognized in Germany and it is also not recognized in your country, then it means you are not even qualified for option 2 also.
Okay. Let's say I'm going with option 1. My certificates are approved by ZAP in Germany. What next do I need to do?
Okay, it's clear that your certificate is recognized fully by Germany. Then the next thing you need to do is that you need to visit your local embassy, the German embassy in your region, in your country. Because now there's an online platform, which will also send the link here. But if you apply through the online platform, I think majority of all the African countries, even many of the other countries aside African countries, it will also still redirect you saying that you should apply at your local embassy in your country. So it's basically you have to seek an appointment to your local embassy, or you need to check the website of the local embassy and check the application procedure and what is required in that aspect. But I would also tell you the cost of applying in your own country, it shouldn't be more than the 75 euros, which is normal for the application. And one other point I want to say is that aside from this requirement I've mentioned, some embassies might add additional requirements for you to put in there. For example, if you are in Ghana, I went to the Ghana website, the Ghanaian website for German embassy, and I saw that they were even requesting that you need to submit your CV in the application. You need to submit letter of motivation on why you are going to Germany. You understand? So you see, it's quite different for some embassies. So maybe they may require some other minor document, but you need to apply it from your region.
Okay.
At least
So
for
now,
now, not until maybe the online platform starts fully working for every other applications.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't know if we left out something.
You asked if there was one other point. There were 2 points, which is what can you use to prove the German language? So in your embassy, the local embassy, to prove, there's this Goethe Institute. They do write German exam there. So you write the German exam with them, get the certificate, and then you can use that to prove your German language. Then for the English proficiency, there's TOEFL, there's IELTS. So these are recognized English test exams that if you do it, then you can use that also to prove that you have the particular requirements just for the point-based aspect. It's like we said on the point-based system in the option 2, if you have 5 years in the last 7 years, or if you have 2 years in the last 5 years, you get point for it. You need to also prove that. And how can you prove that? It might depend on the different embassy, but what will be majorly required is a reference letter. So they would want a reference letter from your company that would state that you are working for them, how much you are being paid, and the duties you are carrying out in the company. So how long you also work for them in the company. Then maybe some embassies also might require you to show probably your pay slip, or to show that you received salaries, or maybe your employment letter with the company in your country, depending on what the embassy might want to add to that.
Okay. All right. So thank you very much, Ayo. Let's see. So if it says that you are qualified, you then need to go online and book like a
An
regular
appointment in your
visa
embassy.
or appointment. I don't understand because, for example, the Schengen visa, I think they have to fill the application. So is there a separate application for this?
So, like we said now, it's a new process. This just started in June 1. So even many embassies in Africa have not like given a specific procedure on how to apply for it. Some have kept their procedure out there, but some have not. So basically, but the idea doesn't change. It would still remain just like the job seeking visa or any other application process, where you have to go into the website for your region, the German embassy in your region, select the particular one, fill the application form, seek an appointment, and go to your interview with the necessary document to prove your case.
Oh, thank you. Okay, now I understand.